Hello, welcome. So in January and February, I filmed myself kind of randomly selecting my eyeshadows to use throughout the month, and I was really enjoying doing that and getting some use out of my collection. I actually did film my kind of like final thoughts about those 2 months, and that video should be up soon. I'm a little backlogged at the moment, but I took a bit of a hiatus in March because I went through my whole collection and I swatched everything by color, just like I've been talking about doing for so long. So there's a lot of videos coming out soon about that. I hope that's something that you're interested in. But because of that, I wanted to finish doing that before I did the March one. So we're gonna do, I want to say kind of like an abbreviated March, but I haven't really decided if it's actually going to be abbreviated or not, because I feel like sometimes I'll randomly select my eyeshadows and I feel like I kind of get through them pretty quickly. Today is March 23rd. I'm going to try to have this out on like the 24th or 25th, and I imagine I'll use these eyeshadows until maybe like the 10th of April or something like that, and then I'll select my April shadows. So it will still be like over 2 weeks with them. But yeah, that's why we're so late in March. But like, I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to do this because I really like doing it and I feel like it's still enough time. And it's not really going to be like any spoilers for the shadows. I mean, I guess you'll see the shadows that I kept, but you're not going to see like the finished palette. So I guess it's kind of like a sneak preview of some of the shadows that I kept. And I'm also excited because I know that I'm going to really enjoy all of the shadows because I did purposely decide to keep them so recently. I don't know if I'm making sense, but let's just switch over to my hands and get into it. Okay, we have a cat foot in the corner and she's currently laying on my computer where I have to type my password in to log in, and she's pressed too many characters, so it keeps making like a really low beeping noise. So I'm guessing that you can't hear it, but I'm just gonna put it out there just in case. Yeah. The first order of business is that I bought some new single eyeshadows in February. I actually have them all in this palette. I have these 4 Terra Moons Urban Outfitters shadows. I have the 6 Moonscape shadows from Divina, and then 3 other shadows that I picked up from Divina. So I kind of separated them, as you can see, into 3 different sections, and I wrote those on my handy little slips of paper, and I'm just going to draw one from each section to include in the palette, and I am going to toss the other papers into my big vat of papers right away, so maybe we will get another one from luck, but yeah, that's how I'm going to start this. Okay, so these are the Moonscape shadows. I'm not looking. Okay, Lucent Ray. I know that's like the purpley leaning one that I feel like is not very purple. So that will be interesting to explore my feelings with that one. And then from the other 3 Divina ones, it's going to be Rain Tarts, which I think is like the lightest bluish purpley one. And then from the Terra Moons ones, Harvest Moon, which is like the bright red that I really like. Yeah, I know I said before that it might be an abbreviated one, but like I'm excited now and I think we're just gonna do a full-on palette. So I stuck those other papers in here, and actually I think I'm going to do this on top of my laptop case just so it can be moved quickly if need be. You know, because cat. Okay, I'm really excited about this. Also, I mentioned before that I've decluttered a lot of shadows since we last did this, and I'm pretty sure I removed all of them from here, but it's possible that I'm gonna pull one and then look for it and not be able to find it because I decluttered it. I don't know. Okay, first up we have the RNG Transition from Jeffree Star. I don't support his brand anymore, but I did depot the Blood Sugar palette, and I know I really like this one. Octopi from Menagerie. I know that's like the lavender matte. This is fun too because I feel like I really do know my shadows a little bit more than I did before that whole process. I need to stop talking about that because I know you haven't seen it yet, but you will soon, and I hope you're excited. Okay, next up we have Peachy Keen from JD Glow. I really like that one. It's like an all-over look. And then Siren of the Sea from Luxie, which is like a green. Oh, Perseus from Terra Moon. So we did get one of those other ones. Did I say before that I've already filmed eye swatch videos with all those new shadows? Because I will link those down below. Oh no, we have a paw invading. Hi, baby. Okay, next up is Half Moon from Terra Moons. I really like that one. That's like a light shimmery blue that I love using on my inner corner. And then Adonis from Luxie, which is also a light shimmery blue that I like using on my inner corner. I don't necessarily like want to compare to get rid of one. I mean, it's possible that I'll be shrinking down my collection more at some point, but it'll be fun just to kind of get to know the differences between those. Then we have Grisaille from Cleona. Ooh, I'm so excited about this one. This is one of their gorgeous glitter multi-chromes, one of the first ones I ever got from them. I'm so impressed whenever I play with it, but I never think to use it on my eyes, so I definitely will be using it a lot now. And then we have ACM 25, a Peach Transition. All right. I wonder how similar that is to the Jeffree Star Transition that we already pulled. And then we have Sky from JD Glow, which is like a shimmery blue. That'll be interesting. I feel like I haven't used that much. Reflection from Luxie, which is kind of like a taupe. Next is Cute Alert from ColourPop, which is like a kind of like a berry matte that I really, really like, and it's gonna look really nice with both of those like peachy transitions. Mermaid Waters from Give Me Glow. This is like a sparkly teal. Excited to use that more. Fate from Glaminatrix. This is one of my favorites. It's a really pretty pink. Verte from Cleona, which I believe is this kind of like sheer based green. Luster from Glaminatrix. I think that's a purple. Formation from ColourPop. I think that's a green. If not, it's like a teal. Ooh, Menagerie Cetacean. I still don't know how to say it, but it's one of my all-time favorite shadows. The prettiest matte blue. All right, this is going to be a good one. And then the lightest champagne depotted ColourPop shadow. It's from the I Think I Love You palette, and I did declutter most of them, but I kept like 2, and that's one of them. Chili from Luxie, which is, it's really similar to Adonis and Half Moon, and I think I'm going to throw it back in. I've never done that before. I'm going to throw it back in. Just because I know I really like using this kind of shade in my inner corner, and I don't want to use like all of my shades that do that at the same time. That's just kind of a waste, and then I won't be able to use it in the future. Okay, Cleona Oculus. This I tried to use recently because I realized I never used those black-based multi-chromes, and it was kind of a mess, so I'm kind of excited. Jellyfish from Give Me Glow, really pretty hot pink. And then Gecko from Menagerie, which is a green that I really like. All right, I'm going to grab these all out. I'm a little bit nervous because I think I definitely have the most 37mm pans that I've had in a single palette, but I guess we'll find out if that's okay.
What we do here is go back.
Okay, so here are all the shadows. They feel very random. I don't think they're going to form as cohesive of a collection as I somehow managed to get in January and February. But I mean, we do have like a pretty bold color story of like teals. Yeah, and then okay, just like everything else. But that's fine. The point of it is not to have cohesion. The point is just to like use things in a different way and see combinations I don't normally see. And that's already happening. I'm already looking at all these shadows next to one another and thinking of looks that I would have never thought of otherwise. Alright, so that's what I have. Originally, I wanted to like separate these two and separate the blues a little bit, but like that's just not how I use palettes. I do like to have similar colors grouped together, so that's what I did. I'm sure I will move this around a little bit more as the time progresses, but I think it's a really interesting color story. It does kind of suck with these blues, because like I was saying, just like having these two together is kind of a downer, but like these four would all kind of serve that purpose. But whatever, like I could do whatever I want, and in the future, if I feel like I'm missing a blue light shimmer in a palette, I could always just like add one back in for fun. So yeah, let's switch over to where I'll select my pre-made palettes and single non-magnetic shadows. Okay, so here we are with my palette at a different angle, and I'm ready to select the other products that I'm going to be using for the month of March, kind of. So I think I'm going to select two palettes, and I think what I'm going to do is draw one, and if I don't get some kind of like more neutrals, because this, like, I don't have like a mid-toned or a dark brown in here, and I don't want to set myself up for failure. I want to set myself up to be able to use these pretty much exclusively. So I'm going to draw one, and if that doesn't have those kind of like building block mattes, then I'll choose the second one. And if it does, then I'll just randomly select the second one. Okay, so I have them all in here. Aren't you glad? I really do like this palette, and I don't think we have any oranges in here other than like maybe those like transition-y ones. So it's actually like a good month for that. But that means I'm going to choose the other one. And I have two in mind that I might compare. Just give me a second. Okay, we don't really have to do comparisons because I already made a decision just while getting my options out. So what I'm going to use is the Kat Von D, because that's what it was at the time, the Shade and Light eye palette. It's all just like neutral matte shades that I definitely used way more than I remember using, because I have pan in these two biggest ones. But this was kind of in the back of my mind that it would be really useful in a month when like I have all shimmers or something like that. But it's really good because like the only kind of overlap I have is those two orangey transitions, but they're deeper than this is. So that'll be good. And like this is so old, and it will be a good judge of like whether or not I want to keep this in my collection, whether or not I still enjoy it, or if I'm just like keeping it for nostalgia purposes. So I think that's going to be a really good comparison. And I know I said I would just do two palettes, but I want to do a third, because I have this little ColourPop Cancer quad that I bought when it came out, and I was so excited about it, so excited that this was vegan. And my impression of it at this moment is that I love this color. It's like a really kind of like orangey neutral shade. And the other three are just like, eh. And like I want to love it, because I love the idea of having this kind of transition and these kind of shimmers, but they just haven't impressed me. So I think this will be good, just 4 extra shadows to throw in there and see. And then also, since I have those two other orangey transitions colors, I could compare those to this and see if this is worth keeping for just this shade, if it turns out my suspicions are correct and only this shade is good. Yeah, I think that's kind of the perfect selection to have for this kind of like abbreviated month that we got going on here. And then lastly, we have my non-magnetic single shadows. And I guess I'll draw 2 of these. I hope at least one of them's a liner, because I don't think we've had any liners. I might throw this one back in. I'm just getting so picky this month. This is Urban Decay Solstice Single Shadow, but I feel like it's kind of similar to Grisaille, and I don't want to get rid of either of them. So like, I don't really want to waste this month. I'm gonna throw it back in. Sorry. Okay. ColourPop Overboard Liner Pot. I think this is like, it's either a brown or a deep green. We'll find out in a second. Well, that's fun, and that was bound to happen because I have so many liners I haven't used. And then last up is, oh, Rose Quartz from Kaja. I forgot about this product. Let me grab those 2 out. Okay, so Overboard is this Kaja Moon Crystal Sparkling Eye Pigment. I got this like, I think in 2020. And it's a really cool product that I never use. So I'm excited to find out if I never use it because like I have better already, or if I just forget to use it and I need to use it more. So that'll be kind of fun to discover. This actually does have an expiration date printed on it for January of 2021, which I feel like was within a couple months of me getting it. I'm not really in the business of listening to expiration dates, and I know usually they have like the 12 months or 24 months, that kind of thing. It's just interesting that it has an actual date that like, we'll find out though. And then Overboard is this like shiny copper liner. I wonder if it's even still good. It looks so dry, and I know I haven't touched it in years, but that will be exciting to find out if it has life left in it. And yeah, let's do that fun thing we do where I see how much of this I can hold up at once. So these are all of the eyeshadows. I'm really excited about this assortment. I know I did kind of have my hand in it more than I usually do, but I think it's a really good selection. Not too much overlap other than like the blue shimmer thing. But yeah, I'm really excited to dive into these. It's going to be a really exciting couple of weeks, and it'll be good to get to know these a little bit more. So I hope this was fun to watch. If it was, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, subscribing. It really means a lot to me. And I'll be back really soon with a lot more eyeshadow content. Bye.